So me and my honey had just got finished watching a TikTok video, and the girl was saying, the girl was talking about Jehovah Jireh, and my honey was like asking me, who was that? And I was basically saying that that was another name for God, meaning God will provide. And when I said that, my honey said, "See, that's just too confusing, too many names." And my response to him was, it's not confusing. It's only confusing to those who don't know the word of God and know him by that name. And I said, it's no different than you calling me by different names. I said, you call me by different names and you know who I am and I know who you are. I said, it's no different. God has the name God, but there's also other names that he's called by. Jehovah Jireh, which means he's our provider. My point in saying all that was, it's only confusing to those who don't know God and don't know the word of God, don't know what the word of God says about God, which is why it's important for us to read the word of God, to study the word of God. You hear a lot of women saying that I want a man of God. Well, if you don't know what the characteristics of God are, then when a man of God show up in your life, you won't even know if this is a man of God. So you have to be mindful whenever it comes to you have to be mindful whenever it comes to knowing the word of God. It's important for you to study the word of God for yourself. It's important, even though you may hear other people preach on the word of God, you still should be reading the word of God yourself. You still should be studying the word of God yourself versus just going off of what you hear other people say when it comes to the word of God. You have to know the word of God for yourself, because people can tell you things, but that don't necessarily mean it's true, which is why I tell people, when someone come to me about something and say, such says this, that, and the third in the Bible, I don't just take people for their word. Meaning, if I don't know what they're saying to be true, I'll go to the word of God to reference it. If I don't see it in the word of God, then I'm not buying it. Basically, I'm not believing it, because if it don't line up with the word of God, then to me, it ain't the truth.